Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, didn't come up with a name that time, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new OC's record, A Weird Exists. This is the latest full-length LP from prolific garage rock outfit, the OCs. When we last left the band, their previous record came out last year, Mutilator, Defeated at Last, pretty good. Easily one of their best records in a while, in my opinion. While the songwriting on this thing wasn't amazing, the appeal of the album was centered more around jams than it was tunes. And the jams on this thing were sweet, they were spicy, intense as well. The production on this thing was leagues better than the production that had been on the band's last handful of albums, which was maybe just a little too lo-fi, or lo-fi in a way that didn't actually sound pleasurable to the ears, my ears. This record was a legitimately high-fidelity recording with a mix of clean and distorted sounds. It wasn't just this non-stop, brittle, ear-searing punishment. It didn't feel like I was running a marathon over a bed of hot coals while I was being mercilessly shat on by seagulls. So with the band heading in a good direction with their last LP, with no hesitance, I tried this new record out, and happy Anthony. It is a better record. All the improvements of the last album are explored further on A Weird Exists. Now still, the band is not really emphasizing songs here. It's still more of a jams album. It's about the performances, it's about the grooves, it's about locking in that groove, repeating it, throwing tons of cool effects and sounds and musical embellishments onto that groove. There are different vocal styles on this thing, from quirky falsettos to very gruff, animalistic screams, raspy shouts, fun and wild guitar performances that feature just scuzzy, fuzzy, heavy chords and riffs to springy and wild psychedelic echoes. The bass and drums sound not exactly, vibrant. I mean, they're pretty plain, but they do a good job of propelling all of the madness that happens on top of them. This thing is just 40 minutes of noise, psych, punk, garage madness, especially on the fastest and the heaviest tracks in the track listing here. For one, Gelatinous Cube. Hilariously gruff vocals on this track, quick little funny guitar lick. The verses are intense as hell, and then it gets even crazier when they're swapped out with these fierce, wild, loud, burning guitar leads. It's a wild child of a track. Then we have the very fat and just thick and distorted Ticklish Warrior, which is another highlight for me. Easily one of the most monstrous tracks this band has ever recorded. I really love the loud, soft dynamics of these tracks, like on the song Plastic Plant. The band has these very quiet, funny falsettos on the verses, which are very tension building, and then all of a sudden we're getting these huge explosions of guitar, very crunchy guitar chords cascading over one another with all this springy echo. The performances and the recording just seem so live and in the moment and unpredictable. The song Jammed Entrance is a supremely weird instrumental with these tense little ding 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 keyboard notes that sound like they're playing Morse code more than they are playing music. The keys almost seem glitchy in a way. Another chill but swanky instrumental goes by on the song Unwrap the Fiend, which I liked a lot. And on the song Crawl Out from the Fallout, the band experiments with bringing some strings into the fold, and they actually do well on this track. It's a very chill and, at this point, very well-earned space-out session in the track listing here that I think kind of calms things down really well from the madness of the middle of the album. And even though this track is really gentle, it's just as colorful, if not more colorful, than all of the tracks that preceded it, with its very low-key, lazy vocals and the wonderful string embellishments that, while they are colorful and they are soft, they're also kind of weird. There is that subversive element to this instrumental here. Even though this is one of the softer and easier going cuts in the track listing here, the band still manages to make it sound a little sour and a little unsettling. A lot of flavorful layers on this thing. And other than that, there's not much else to this record. I mean, I have a few complaints. I think the intro, Dead Man's Gun, could have been longer. Seems like a sort of abrupt finish. I think they could have jammed this track out a bit, developed it just a touch more. And then there is the closer, the Axis, which I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with. I dislike very much the very stale and very stiff keyboard chords and drum beat on this track, though I do like the kind of goofy and tongue-in-cheek vocal delivery as well as the funny lyrics about not loving someone anymore. It's just kind of so bitter and blunt in your face that it's funny. But then, after a while, after the instrumental being as redundant as it is, starts to eat away at my brain and make me contemplate just smashing my computer in, the band introduces this guitar solo that gets progressively more distorted and noisy to the point where it is just like stuttering feedback and white noise that just overtakes the whole song and just envelops the whole instrumental and swallows it like a monster. A very well-deserved destruction there. You know, there was just a point where it was like the band read my mind and said, hey, you know what, let's just destroy this instrumental. And yeah, they really wrecked it. And I was like, good, wreck that instrumental, wreck it. Really a hilarious way to end the song and the album itself. You know, I really used to like the OC's early output. You know, they have a good handful of records in their early discography that I fell in love with, and there was a point where I just feel like they fell off a little bit. Not so much that I started to hate the band or anything like that, but it started to seem to me that the group was really emphasizing quantity over quality when it came to their releases. But now with this sort of sudden turnaround that they've made, I've been really pleased with the output that the band has been delivering, especially on this project over here. I think this is the best album the OCs have released in years. Not only that, but it's a record that honestly lives up to the title. So if you're looking for a solid and consistent garage rock album with fun instrumentals, interesting sounds, intense high-octane performances, and a kind of strange personality, then make sure you give this a shot. Don't let it slip through the cracks. I'm feeling a light 8 on this thing. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. So check out next. Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe. Please don't cry if you don't like my thoughts on this record. The OCs, A Weird exists forever.